Good morning, students. So, we will discuss today grade 10th, chapter 4, geography, that is agriculture. So, today we have to discuss page 44, and topic on this page which we have to discuss is food security. So, let's define first food security. So, food security means availability, accessibility, and affordability of food to all the people at all the times. So, this is food security, means ensuring food for all. And now, why there is a need for food security? You know that food is a basic need, and every citizen of the country should have access to food so that their minimum nutritional level needs can be fulfilled. So, if any segment is not having this access, it means they lack food security. So, this problem is found among poor people living particularly in economically less developed states of our country like Bihar, Orissa. So, there most of this in the northeastern states we found this problem. So in remote areas, northeastern states, and the states where this natural disasters occur, there we face this problem of uncertain food supply. So as to provide and ensure food supply to all the section of the society, our government carefully designed a national food security system, and this system consists of two components, that is buffer stock and the PDS. So two components are there of our national food security system. Now page 45, so we were discussing the same topic, food security. So our national food security system has two components, buffer stock and the PDS. So buffer stock means the stock of food grains for the poor people at the affordable prices. And PDS, it is a program which provides food grains and other essential commodities at the subsidized rates in rural and the urban areas. So India's food security policy has a primary objective to ensure the availability of food grains to the common people at an affordable price. So these policies has enabled poor to have access to food, and the focus of the policy is in the growth in agriculture production. So the focus of these policies is the growth in the agriculture sector, so that agriculture production should increase, and on fixing the minimum support price for the procurement of wheat and rice to maintain their stocks. So this is the focus of this policy, so that the production in the agriculture sector should increase, and we should fix the MSP, for which the more and more farmers should feel motivated and should go for the cultivation of these crops. So aim is to become self sufficient in food production by providing incentive to the farmers in the form of minimum support price, so that more and more farmers cultivate the crops which are procured by the FCI, that is wheat and rice. And in India, FCI is responsible for procuring and stocking the food grains, but distribution is ensured by the PDS, that is the public distribution system. So the government procures the wheat and rice and the crops from at the MSP. So the government procures at MSP these the essential crops, that is wheat and rice, and then distributes to the poor section of the society through PDS, public distribution system, that is rationing, all these fair shops. Then all these poor people, they can have access to food grains through these shops. Now FCI procures food grains from farmers at the government announced MSP. So who announces this minimum support price? The government of India. And government of India also used to provide subsidies on agriculture inputs like fertilizers, power and water. So subsidy, aid, it means aid or a grant, this is provided to the farmer whenever he is purchasing the inputs like fertilizers, power and water. So whenever these things are provided to the farmers, these are provided at a subsidized rates. Then now what are the repercussions of these subsidies and the MSP, the minimum support price? Now these subsidies have now reached the unsustainable level, that is now they are causing damages, and they have also led to the large scale inefficiencies in the use of scarce input, that is land. So excessive and imprudent, that is the indiscriminate use of fertilizers and water, has led to waterlogging, that is flooding of the fields with the water. Salinity, the salt content, has also increased. Depletion of the essential micronutrients, minerals in the soil. So this has also reduced and depleted, and the high MSP and subsidies in input and committed FCI purchases have distorted, that is spoiled the cropping pattern. So more and more farmers, they want high MSP, they want subsidies, and FCI, they also committed to procure the food grains from the farmers. So this has spoiled, all these things have spoiled the cropping pattern. And due to all these incentives, farmers in Punjab and Haryana, they are growing only uh, paddy and wheat, because the government procurement is there for these crops. So wheat and paddy are being grown more and more for the MSP they get. So this has created imbalance in the intercrop parities. It means if we keep on producing just wheat and rice, then these crops will be harvested in bumper. But apart from these, we need other crops also, like pulses, oil seeds, cotton. So we will go deficit there in these crops. So balance should be maintained. After this, you know that the consumer are also divided into two categories: below poverty line and above poverty line. So what is the problem here? That the benefits which government announced does not reach the deserving poor, as the deserving poor have been excluded from the BPL category. So this is the administrative faults. So means whatever grants the government is releasing for the deserving poor, it does not reach there. So if suppose one crop fails due to drought, due to flood, then these above poverty line section will shift to the below poverty line, because if crop fails, then farmer will not be able to get income. Laborers will also not get income. So cycle gets disturbed, and it is very difficult for the administration to accommodate such shifts season wise. Every season they can't come out with the new data, new statistics, new census. So it is very difficult for the administration. And each district can be made self-sufficient in food production if government provides them proper agriculture infrastructure. Cheap credit should be provided. More and more Grameen banks should be opened in the rural area. And also the farmers should be encouraged and motivated to use the latest technology. Instead of just concentrating on wheat and paddy, the other crops should also be encouraged. Okay, so free trade should be promoted. So this all will increase employment and reduce poverty. So Indian farmer also observing all these things, and according to Shanta Kumar committee report, only 6% of Indian farmer is selling their crops on MSP. So there is a gradual shift. So it means the trade is free, means you can trade freely. Okay, only 6% of farmers, they are going for the MSP. So others are selling outside only. So if there is a gradual shift from cultivation of food crops to fruits, vegetables, oil seeds, cotton, rubber, so this has reduced the net sown area under cereals and pulses due to this gradual shift. But population is continuously increasing, and there is a decrease in the net sown area. But so all these things, they have put the question mark on the food security. So the another problem is that net sown area is also decreasing, because land has other uses also apart from cultivation, like construction of building and houses. And productivity of land is also decreasing due to the cultivation of similar crops and excessive use of fertilizers and pesticides. So once all these things led to green revolution, now they are degrading our soils. Water scarcity is another problem. Water table is going down. Inefficient water management, this has led to the water logging and salinity. So all these problems we have seen in our agriculture. Now the one important so after this we have to discuss the another reasons for the land degradation, that land has now become unfit. So on next page we will discuss these things. So page 46 now. So earlier also we were discussing the same things, that is the disadvantages of the green revolution. So we will continue now on page 46 also the same, the disadvantages we have undergone. So on earlier page I was discussing the disadvantages of the green revolution, that it has led to land degradation, then it has affected our soil fertility, it has affected our water table, underground water levels it has affected. So now the government is providing free powers to the farmer. So due to this also, the farmers are also pumping more and more groundwater out to grow more and more water intensive crops in the low rainfall areas like Punjab, Haryana, rice we are cultivating here. So, because of these policies of the government, the farmers have taken the things for granted. So, this has led to decrease in underground water levels. So, the large farmers they can survive themselves, no problem. But what about the small farmers? They will face the water crisis. Then we have inadequate storage facilities. If we have bumper crops but we don't have that much good storage facilities, marketing facilities are also not very good. So these all are disadvantages to our farmer. So farmers are badly affected by the uncertainties of the weather, of the production and the market. And Indian farmer suffers double disadvantage. Now how? Like in order to have the bumper crop, farmer has to go for the capital intensive farming, that is more inputs he has to put, HYVCs, good quality of fertilizers, pesticides. So this increases his his bumper crop. He will have bumper harvest, but this increases his cost of production also. So now this bumper crop will only create a problem for him. His supply will increase but prices will reduce now. So, no alternative left with the farmer, but he has to sell his produce at very low prices. So, this causes distress sale, that is, sale made under the unfavorable conditions. So, the farmer does not have any other option, so they are forced to take decisions to sell their crop on the loss. So there can be no food security without security of our small farmers. So such policy should be launched by the government. Such reform should be taken which safeguard the interest of the small farmers in our country, because 85% of farmers in our country is small and marginal farmers.